melt is when I'm ocean waves.
Today on Nova Legends podcast, I have Oakton Coach Fred Priester, who's had another amazing season. He crossed the 800 win threshold. You got to be pretty young to do that. And he has his Cougars back in the state tournament again. Coach, congratulations. What a year.
Thank you. It really was. I was talking with some other coaches, and they didn't mean anything by it, but they said, "Wow, we didn't think Oakton had anything this year."
Well, I know
Turns
you
out we
graduated.
did. Turns out we did.
Yeah, I know you graduated Caitlin Crump, who's playing at Christopher Newport, who won their conference. I know she was a really good player, but you came out of the blocks and you won your first 9 or 10 games. So did going in, what were your expectations coming into the season?
Well, I mean, I kind of thought we might be a little better than people thought that we might be. We had some young players, and everybody stepping into new rules, or no new roles rather. And I mean, we had new roles on our coaching staff as well. So it was up in the air. We got started pretty quickly, and we sort of experimented around with what was the best way for us to play, and we sort of hit on a way to do it. Sort of I guess you might call a mid-tempo game. We're not up and down, super fast, but we're not necessarily as deliberate as we might have been the year before. We graduated 4 seniors, and so we had one Finley Tar who started a lot of games for us last year, but was in and out hurt. And we had Sophie Toole coming off the bench for us last year, and she stepped into a full-time role. And then Brooke Chang was another player who played a good amount last year, but was now in a role where she had to be on the floor, 26, 27 minutes a game. And then we just sort of patched it together with a lot of other people that came in and were willing to play their roles. Cam Shannon and Bailey Zimmerman, and we have a young freshman that's still learning the game, and but she had some big games for us, Jocelyn Kinlaw. So we just, everybody pulled together, and that was actually our goal from the beginning. It was to try to get them to latch on to a common purpose. The fact is, with kids these days, they talk to each other a lot on the phone, but they don't actually communicate much. And that was our big emphasis all year long, was trying to get us to be more communicative and then bring us closer together. And that went along with all the different things that we typically do at Oakton to try to build our team.
Yeah. Now, do you still have your hero Gene Hackman's rule of 5 passes per possession before you can shoot the ball?
No, we kind of have a concept we call SWAB, SWAB, strong side, weak side, and back. And all the data indicates that if you do that, you have a better chance of scoring than if you take a front side shot. So there's a lot of analytics out there that back that up. So, I'm not going to say we never take a front side shot, but we will take the ball back and forth. But I would say, had there been a shot clock, we would not have violated it very often.
Yeah. Well, I know that it's hard to compare the talent level over the years because more top players are going to private schools nowadays. A player like Jasmine Thomas may have been a little bit tougher for her to stay at Oakton. I know how much she loves you. How do you compare this Oakton team to some of your other great teams that you've had?
Well, I mean, I think that we all know that basketball is losing sway with kids. It's a very difficult sport to be good at. With all due respect to other sports, there are difficult things to do in those sports as well, but they don't necessarily put you front and center, ask you to do everything with someone in your face, and it's a difficult game, and so it's a fun game, but it can be difficult to be good at. So I think that you have to keep that in mind. But this team, I'm really, really so proud of how far they've come and what we've been able to accomplish. my goal, and I know I've shared this with you before, is that we try to play at or above our potential in every game. And if we do that, then I'm fine. The trick to that part of that is that, once you do that, then the level of your potential rises. And so then you have to do better the next time to meet that seemingly simple goal.
Yeah. You're like a salesman who makes his budget one year. They say, well, look, next year you're going to have a much higher budget. I'm a sales
Exactly.
coach. That's that's my life. Well, coach. So when you think about this team, and I know, you were tough on refs, so I'd imagine you're probably tough on players sometimes. Can you coach these girls as tough as you could have coached the girls in the past? Can you, or nowadays does it take a little bit of a softer touch?
Well, I think if you ask some of my former players that came back, they'll say I'm too easy now. But the truth is, if they really sat back and examined it, they would find out that I've always had the sort of the tough side, but also the caring side. And I think that I think kids actually want to be pushed and held accountable and all of that more than perhaps people give them credit for. And so I think they want to do that. They realize it's not always pleasant. And but at the same time, I think the key factor, and I learned this when I first actually started coaching girls all those years ago. As long as they know that you absolutely care about them, there's a lot, they will hear what you have to say. And I actually felt like I became a better coach of boys when I started taking that same approach when I was coaching football and baseball over the years. Spending more time making sure that they understood that I cared about them as people first and as athletes second, but I was going to, it used to be a popular word, tough love them, but I mean that I'm going to their parents are gonna be telling them how great they are all the time, and that's fine. I'm happy for that. But the fact is that I'm going to tell them the truth, and sometimes the truth is not what you want to hear. I heard one coach, I believe it was the Randolph-Macon men's coach with the team that they won, I think, a championship with last, and he talked about, do you want harmony or truth?
Yeah.
And so we try to opt on the side of truth, even though it's sometimes a painful thing to face. And I think the kids respond pretty well to that as long as you're genuine.
What did Colonel Jessup or Jack Nicholson once say about the truth? Do you remember that movie, Coach?
I don't recall that one.
Some people can't
Oh
handle
yeah, oh
it.
yeah. Oh yeah, you can't handle the truth. Right. Well, I think kids can handle the truth. I don't think we give them enough credit for being able to do that. Maybe it takes them a little bit longer. The processing time's a little bit longer. They need to go home and think about it. But I think I've been very blessed with kids who have understood where I was coming from, and this group is no different. They understand what I'm asking of them. I'm not asking of them things that they are incapable of doing. Although I will tell you that sometimes they think I think they can do more than they think they can do, and that maybe I'm a little unreasonable, and I just let them know that, yeah, I am unreasonable. That's my job.
Yeah. Well, one thing I think it's very clear is that the the Concord district was very wide open this year. It may not have had the superstar team of the past of the very strong Madison teams, but anyone could have won a game in that conference on any given night. And you guys took turns beating each other for a lot of district play.
Right. It has almost always been that way. Back when everybody had talent, it was like that way. I mean, we were very, I was very fortunate to have the kind of players in the 2000s. We won 8 district championships in a row. And, that's like one of those things like, I don't want to get over my head here, but it's like people would say, well, John Wooden won 10 national championships in a row. Yeah, it was tough. I don't care doing 8 in a row, 10 in a row at any level, that's pretty tough, but this year was just another example of that. Every game was pretty much a close game. And I think that really helped us grow as a team. We had a few games in the early season where, we don't get to pick our schedules real totally, as it's a sort of somebody else picks them, but we had a couple games that were, maybe not as competitive, and that maybe helped us get a little bit of confidence. But then when we got into the Concord district, we had to, put up or shut up, and the kids stepped up and did that.
Yeah. Coach, did you win the regular season? In the
No, we were 6-4.
6-4.
We lost the four we lost to Madison by 1, and then we lost to Centerville by 1 and 4. Although they handled us reasonably well on in the regional final. But we played them close in the times that we played them for, and I think we lost one to Chantilly by about 8 or 9, something like that. So and go ahead.
No, I'm sorry, Coach. Go ahead.
No, I just I think all the games were close. I think if you look back, you'd see, we're not everything's a buzzer beater or anything like that, but they're hard fought games that aren't really decided till the end.
Yeah, you did win the districts this year, though, right,
Yes,
Coach?
we won the district championship over Chantilly, and then we, the way it's set up now.
Let's talk about that. How important is that to you? You probably won 10, 15 district championships. What did that mean to you to win the district championship this year?
Well, winning it a second time in a row, it means a lot. I mean, I don't.
That's right. You beat Madison last year.
It's 20. It's 20. But at any rate, the fact of the matter is that with the way that things are set up now, out of our control, and we're last year we went to the state tournament, and we walked over to Fairfax and played Robinson in the state tournament, and this year, I mean, it's a little bit. They did make the difference now, but we're still paired up with the I don't know what alphabet letter they are, but we're playing Osbourn Park. So, that's at least we have to get on a bus, and so you keep playing the same. So really winning your neighborhood takes on even a greater importance in terms of just how it feels, I mean, not to say, hey, I'm not going to say I wouldn't have liked to have beaten Centerville for the regional championship, or I wouldn't like to continue forward and move on in the state tournament, but it's winning your neighborhood. That's pretty big. When I was a kid, that's what we want to do. We want to be the best in the neighborhood. Well,
especially if Madison's in your neighborhood. Well, you did in the regionals, you did lose the final to Centerville. How big is that loss? I mean, is Osbourn Park, Gainesville? They're both tough. So when you look towards the state, it probably didn't mean all that much except for you're on the road. Is that correct, Coach?
Well, I mean, the thing is, as I said, it's the whole tournament format is what it is. We don't have any choices in that. I mean, Gainesville's a very good team too. So I mean, the difference would be we actually could have had that game at home as opposed to going out to Osbourn Park. But there's no, when you're down to this few teams, there's no cakewalks here.
Yeah. Well, on the other hand, unlike you didn't draw like Robinson, you didn't win your region and draw Thomas Dale. That's got to be the most daunting prospect. They have this great performance, and here comes a nationally rated team into your gym. It's going to be an incredible game, but at least like it looks like on paper, the Region 6B is comparable to us, and I'm sure it'll be a good game. So I know Chrissy. I'm sorry, Coach. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
No, I know Chrissy Kelly real well. What do you expect? I mean, I'm sorry. What do you expect out of Gainesville?
No, we're playing Osbourn Park.
Oh, okay, I was right. Okay, yeah, so I was right. So you're playing Chrissy Kelly.
Chrissy and I, go back a ways. I actually kind of looked it up, but I'm not going to say what year I coached her in because because she's young and I don't want to call her out on that. But no, Chrissy was a very good player, a very tough player, hard nosed, and that's the way she coaches. And so, and that's the way her teams play. And so they're a direct reflection of her. So, I expect them to come out and be in our shorts. So we'll have to handle their pressure and then make sure that we can stop them because they have a lot of quickness.
Yeah. What is your philosophy in preparing for a big game? Do you scout a lot and really try to hone in on a team's strengths and weaknesses, or do you just play Oakton's game?
Well, no, I mean, it's not always easy to find, but I took my lead long ago from Bobby Knight, and he wrote a book called The Power of Negative Thinking. And people think, whoa, he was such a negative guy. It's not even remotely about that. What it's about is that when he looks at another team, what he tries to figure out is, what do I have to stop them from doing in order to beat them? So that's how I start building my game plan. What do I have to try and stop them from doing in order to beat them? And, my estimation of that may be different than other people's. So I'm not going to share anything about my thoughts for the game on Tuesday. But the fact is, that's where we start out. And then what we want to do is, then I think the other thing about that, it's sort of the reverse of that, is what are the things that we do well enough that they're going to have trouble stopping. So, I've always been a very multiple coach. We have a lot of different things that we do offensively and defensively. And so now it's, getting down to the part where we're only focusing on a couple of those.
Yeah. Well, Coach, so this is a pretty short trip for you guys, probably 15, 20 minutes or so.
No, it's an hour at that time of night.
Oh, that's true. That's true. Unless you can take the express lanes, right? Because you have the HOV.
Yeah, but 28's got no express lane. It's just got construction.
Yeah, you got to go down to Osbourn. Yeah. So you play that game, Coach, and I believe it's at 6. Is it what time?
7 o'clock. 7 o'clock game.
7 o'clock at Osbourn Park. Let's come support these teams. Now, what does the bracket look like? If you win this game, who would you guys have to play next?
Well, I believe we would play. I try. I'm true to my word. I don't really look that far ahead. I try to focus on what's right in front of my face. But I think one of my assistants coach said that we would play the winner of Thomas Dale and Robinson. So
okay, yeah.
No free pass there.
No, and at least if Robinson wins, it's more of a local game. But I guess if Thomas Dale wins, the girls get.
Yeah, that's a drive down to Richmond. I'm pretty sure that I'm not even sure where those games are, to be honest with you. I don't know if they're at the home site or whether they play them at the Siegel Center or not. Like I say, years ago, I was having a discussion with somebody and they were talking about gyms and stuff like that. I said, if we get to the regional final, we can play in your backyard. I don't care.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, one of your favorite movies is Hoosiers, and we've already referred to it today. Have you already thought about the inspirational speech you're going to give? Now, when I remember in Gene Hackman in that movie, he gives great speeches the whole movie long. And then when they get to the state tournament, he just kind of sits there and says, well, there's really nothing much more to say, guys. I love you. I forgot exactly what he said. Do you think much about these speeches in these big games, Coach?
I think about them. I try to strike the appropriate tenor with the kids. I think something that Al McGuire, the Marquette coach, once said was, the coach has to be the opposite of the players. So if they're tight, coach has to be loose. Kids are loose, coach has to tighten it up. Mm-hmm. So we'll see how we're feeling and what's going on there. In our lives, we never say I love you enough, and these kids know I love them, but I'll probably tell them that.
Before and after the game.
Before and after.
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah, I was going to say if they win after, also if they lose, well, anyway, Coach, look.
After the game, one way or another, we're going to Krispy Kreme.
Oh, good. Yeah, that sounds.
Get
great.
Some donuts.
Yeah. Well, Coach, I got to watch you play Madison online this year. Didn't get there in person. Don't think I'll make it there tomorrow night, but I'll definitely try to get there on Friday. But I wish you the best luck. I'm so happy for you. Back at States where you belong again, doing another great job on your way to 900 wins. But I just, all you need is one on Tuesday. So hopefully you can go out there and the girls and will play the way you need them to play.
Right. Well, I don't know about 900, but you know what's the most important one? The next one.
Let's get the next one. We'll take them one at a time, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Of course, Coach, is great. Well, enjoy practice tonight, and we'll be in touch later on this week.
Okay. Take care.
Awesome. Thanks.